I know this movie has been on the internet for a while now, a good long while since basically it was announced that this was happening. However, I was a good noodle and I did not watch it until it aired on Paramount Plus last Saturday. Unfortunately, I didn't get to go to one of 2 theaters in the US that were showing it, but I digress. I wanted to wait to watch it because I wanted to properly show support to the entire team, the voice actors, the composers, the animators, everyone that was involved in the making of this. A lot of hard work goes into everything behind the scenes, even releasing it. You know, a lot of people were involved and I didn't want to screw them over, even if I am just one lowly elven being. I wanted to give my support. So we get to review it now. Yay! I'm very happy that I waited. Truly, it was worth the wait. I'd seen a few memes circling the interwebs, and every time I did come across something that was from the film, I would just like close the entire app altogether, whatever I was browsing on or looking through at the time. It's good. I liked it. And it may just be because I am super biased because I grew up with the Gaang, Gaang, and it's been like, what, 15 plus years, something like that. I should have probably looked that up before starting this video, but it's fine. The point is, it's been a while since we've been able to see the Gaang, and I was just so excited that this was happening. So before we get too far into the video, just a quick spoiler warning. I will be going over the entirety of this film, so if you want to watch it, go watch it. Save this video, come back afterwards. I want to talk about it. But in case you are unawares of the plot of this film, Aang and the group are back on an entirely new quest. They have found a new ancient power that could potentially help bring back the Airbenders. At the very beginning of their quest, they actually do find another Airbender that has been basically locked into a sphere, much like Aang did, sealing him off from the rest of the world. So for a while, they get to travel with an Airbender that is actually teaching Aang some new skills that he just didn't ever have the potential to learn because he was 12 when everything went down and he became the last one. But not everything was as it seems, and they have to protect the world from Airbenders. It's pretty wild. It's a wild twist, fam, but that's it in a nutshell. It was just so nice to be back in the world of Avatar. We got to see a little bit of like what we knew in ATLA. We got to see how we got from the end of ATLA to like Korra's story. So it was kind of cool to see just how fast like Republic City went up, how fast these things were changing. And it was cool to see where everyone kind of was at this point in their lives. You have Aang going out and looking for airbending relics so he can learn as much about his culture and preserve it as much as possible. Sokka's an absolute goober, which I absolutely adored that they didn't try to dull his funny at all. And he's also like far into the inventing scene, and I love that. Zuko, now Fire Lord, looked like he was hating being a Fire Lord just a little bit in that opening chamber sequence, and then at the very end, whenever he goes back, but is Fire Lord Zuko. Toph is training a whole bunch of metal benders, and is still the greatest earthbender in the world. Katara, she parted a literal fucking sea and rezzed the entire team. So I'd say she's doing pretty good for herself. Everyone seems to be doing pretty well on their own, but obviously we're still in communication with one another. And I promise not to harp on this for too much, but I'm going to talk about it because I feel like I can't do this video without talking about it. Oh my God, everyone was so hot. Seriously though, everyone's character designs as a whole were just brilliant. Like I love that everyone got upgraded designs, not even paying attention to the hotness factor, right? But just the upgraded designs were fucking phenomenal. I didn't think a cape could look so good on Aang, but it did. The cape was a paid actor in some scenes, but holy shit, everyone's so hot. For real. I was roughly the age of these characters whenever ATLA came out many moons ago, and I never really had a crush on the characters. It was just like, oh my gosh, I resonate with you guys so much. I would like friend the crap out of you guys. Now that we're all grown up together, we're all about the same age, I'm like, holy shit, y'all, I'm crushing on every single one of them. What the hell? The scene where they're on the rooftop and they're in like various states of like undress, shirts missing, hair flowing. I was like, okay, I was doing fine. I was doing fine, and now I just can't stop staring disrespectfully, but oh my God, it was insane. Anyways, moving on from that. kind of transitioning into the animation. The animation was just that much more beautiful from the original. Everything looked so clean. The lighting was brilliant. The movements are fluid. Oh my God, some of the battle sequences were like, holy shit. The animation was just stellar. My jaw was on the floor half the time. It was just beautiful. The music was beautiful too. It was a little bit more of a departure from like the stuff that we're used to with like ATLA, Korra, that stuff, but it was still beautiful and lovely regardless. I don't think they got a single one of the original voice acting cast back, which was fine. It didn't bother me much at all. I will say that the one thing that stood out most for me, two things actually that stood out to me in the voice acting department. One, Tagah, the airbender that they unlock or find, discover, whatever on top of Mount Bailu, is voiced by Dave Bautista, and it was just like, this is Dave Bautista. There was no attempts to make himself sound less like Dave Bautista. It was just Dave Bautista. So not too much of a bother. You just kind of flow with it after a while. Point two, there's a line or two or five whenever Katara is confronting Tagah towards the end of the movie, as he's going off to go get the staff from Aang, where her voice just goes like super tinny, and it stays pretty tinny, and you're like, is it supposed to be like this? Was this intentional? Why not? And then it just swaps back. So I don't know, it was just very off-putting, and I wish that they had re-recorded it because it kind of took you out of that very high stress, high tension situation. But then again, of course, you forget about it because the scene following where they all get their asses kicked is like insane. But those are my two notes as far as like the voice acting department goes. The story, I definitely feel like we could have gotten a full season off of this, of like questing to the Lost Islands. I can't remember exactly what they are called, but the Lion Turtle Islands with the concentrated energy there. We spent so long questing across the world 15,000 times over in the original show that it just seemed too easy. Now that they have the Fire Lord's airship, they were just schmoving along super easily, but changes with the times, right? It's not all gonna be the same. They're gonna progress, they're gonna adapt, they're gonna move forward in the world, not just their lives, but the world. But yeah, I definitely feel like this could have been like book 4, if you will. But for like an hour and 40 minutes, it was pretty well paced. The action was great. The story was pretty good. I would have liked to learn a little bit more about the airbending culture. On the way to the Lion Turtle Islands to find Avatar Sonam's staff, which can in fact bring back airbenders, which naturally we're gonna go find it. We do get Aang kind of learning things from Tagah, and as he's sitting there learning things from Tagah, you just know that the inevitable betrayal, because you can see it coming from a gazillion miles away, is gonna hurt pretty damn badly. But it was so cool to see like the Avatar learning and growing. I mean, like, was the most powerful airbender ever because he was the only airbender to exist. And then to have like someone more skilled than him come in and actually teach him so he can learn more invaluable things, that was really hecking cool. I like that Aang was going and finding relics and everything, but to have like a teacher, that was quite special to watch, I'm not gonna lie. I wish we had a little bit more growth in the airbending. I didn't think I'd ever say that, especially since Aang is a master, but for him to be like, oh yeah, there's just so much you can learn, and then Tagah to be defeated at the end, it was like, damn, it really, more than Aang just being like the last airbender, after Tagah like was defeated at the end, it really did feel like part of the airbending culture, or like not culture necessarily, skill set, I don't know, was lost to time. And so it made me really extra sad because it was already going to be bad to begin with. To his knowledge, Aang's knowledge, there aren't going to be any more airbenders, though we know with Korra that's not the case, but still, it was just really hard. But yeah, the story was pretty solid. Originally, I thought the subsective villains, the Denied, were not too necessary. I understood that they were the catalyst to get Aang and the group going on their journey to go find the staff. However, the more I sat with it for a little bit afterwards, I was like, nah, the Denied were definitely necessary, because once Tagah, naturally he's got to get the staff from Aang, right? And holy shit, that fight sequence is insane. Can we just talk about that scene where Tagah like absolutely obliterates Team Avatar? Like, Aang straight up fucking dies? Oh my god, that was not on my bingo card of things that could possibly fucking happen. He literally killed every single one of them. What? What? I don't know. I was like, how the hell is this gonna happen? How are we gonna win? Are we gonna introduce like, I don't know, timeline bullshit to this? I don't want there to be like a time loop or like you reversing time or whatever. Let's not introduce time shit. But no, Katara is just that badass. And yes, part of it is because of the location of the lion turtles and all of the spiritual energy that she's able to bring them back. But oh my God, what the shit? And it absolutely made sense too that Tagah would be able to like take them down. Because let's be real, I think Tagah definitely has more training than Aang's 12 years of guided practice, right? Again, 12 when he sealed away, and now he's having to like learn and practice on his own, right? So like, yes, a more learned teacher, even if he did receive airbending powers after the fact, absolutely would kick Aang's ass. I hate to be that way, but it's like he's never had to go up against a full-fledged airbender that's been hardened by fucking war. And by that same note, it also makes sense that the rest of Team Avatar also wouldn't know what to do in that situation too, because it's like, they absolutely have sparred with Aang in the past. However, there's never been like intent to kill. So to have like, again, airbender, hardened by war, we've only been able to train against one airbender. His fighting style is different from Aang's. It made sense. And I hated it that it made sense. I just wanted like Aang to be this all-powerful being, right? Because like, I grew up with this cast, they have to beat him. So to literally see everyone die was like insane. Tirade over. Sorry. I don't even know where I was going with this. Oh, I think it was the denied. Yes, got it. We're back. No, but like whenever Tagah gives the denied airbending abilities and they prove to Aang that maybe what he's searching for, i.e. the quick and easy way to give people airbending, may not be the best, since literally the only people that did get airbending in this scenario were villains that have literally tried to kill him. So yeah, it was really sad to see that, because it's like the dream for a moment was that easy. There was an easy way out of extinction, but then like he says in the film, he made his dream a nightmare. But yeah, the denied, though in it for a short while, were pretty damn important. It was really nice to see though, like afterwards, whenever everything's said and done, after the big battle against Tagah, who's turned into big bad infused with the spirit world, which was crazy as shit, by the way. And it really does look like the airbenders are extinct. They set out on a new quest to find relics in a different airbending site, only to find the original airbenders, the sky bison. I'm not saying that I cried, but I'm saying that I cried. It just felt very hopeful after all of that, because you do have to like just come to terms with the fact that Aang is the last airbender, but at the same time, he's not the last airbender. So it was just kind of like beautiful and poetic to go find them all at the end. And also Appa's face whenever he flies into the middle and he's like looking around shocked because he hasn't seen any of his own kind in hundreds of years. Crying harder. And then at the end, after I'd reined in my tears as we're watching the pictures playing throughout the credits of them just continuing on with life, Zuko and Iroh, I just lost it. I lost it. It was very nice to know that Iroh was still there with Zuko, and everyone loves Iroh. If you don't love Iroh, you don't exist in my world. But it was cool to see Iroh. It was cool to see Suki. It was really nice to be back there. It was really nice to be back in the world of Avatar. And where I said this could have easily been an entire like book 4, season 4, I also agree with the decision to make this just a movie. I think if they'd milked it to be an entire season, it just had the potential to not be what the fans needed it to be. They did a really good job with this movie in honoring like the fans and honoring the world. So yeah, it was just really nice to see everyone again. And I wish everyone had more screen time. I know this is literally Avatar Aang, the Last Airbender. It is Aang's movie, but I love everyone so much that I wish they had more screen time. They all looked badass fighting. They all looked badass, period. They were all hot, period. So I've always wanted to do an Avatar cosplay, and now I'm just gonna have to cosplay the entire freaking cast. So there's that. Let me know you guys' thoughts in the comments below. I really want to talk about this with fellow Avatar fans because I had a really fun time. I did. So I'm curious to see your thoughts, your opinions, your wishes for what this movie could have been, your, yeah, no, this is the hottest character and this is why. I want to hear it all. Thank you guys so much for watching. Don't forget to subscribe, and I'll see you guys next time.